Nobody wants to talk about it, but sooner or later, every rider thinks about it. The crash. The one you swear won't happen to you until it does. This isn't a scare tactic. It's truth from the other side of the pavement. If you haven't crashed yet, good, keep it that way. But you should still know what's waiting. Because the guys who understand this stuff before they go down, they recover smarter, faster, and stronger. And the ones who don't, some of them never ride again. So let's break down the 13 harsh truths you'll face after a crash. Mentally, physically, financially. This is the part nobody tells you, but you'll wish they had. Let's get into it. Number 1. The crash doesn't end when you hit the ground. A lot of new riders think the crash is over once you stop sliding, as if you'll just stand up, dust yourself off, and carry on. But ask anyone who's actually been there. It's not just about that moment on the road. The crash echoes. It shows up when you're limping through work the next day, or explaining to your spouse what went wrong, or staring at your bent mirror, trying to decide if you're ready to fix it or sell it. You don't realize how deep it cuts until days later. The adrenaline fades, the soreness shows up, the denial wears off, and the regret creeps in. And when you're cleaning the gravel out of your gear, you're not just reliving what happened. You're asking questions you don't yet have answers to. Why did I go in that hot? Why didn't I downshift? Did I even look before changing lanes? That's when the crash really starts, when the body's still, but the mind starts spinning. And that's the part you can't undo with a wrench or an insurance check. Number 2, your confidence will shatter, even if your bones don't. Physically, you might walk away just fine. A bruised elbow, a sore shoulder, maybe a few scrapes. But mentally, that's where the real damage hides. Your confidence, your rhythm, your trust in the bike and in yourself. That takes a hit that no X-ray can detect. And it shows up in the subtlest, most annoying ways. That turn you used to take without thinking, now you ease into it like a retiree in a rental car. That merge onto the highway, you hesitate. Your throttle hand doesn't twist the way it used to. You start second-guessing every move, every input, every car in your mirror. And worse, when you finally do get back on the bike, it doesn't feel like your bike anymore. Feels like a wild animal you're trying to tame all over again. Some riders never recover. They let doubt grow until that garage becomes a graveyard. Others push through, but it takes time, practice, and self-awareness. You have to rebuild your mental game the same way you'd rehab a broken leg. Step by step, day by day. The only way out is through. And the faster you accept that confidence isn't permanent, that it has to be earned again, the faster you get back to who you were before the crash. Maybe even better. Number 3, everyone becomes an expert overnight. The moment people hear you crash, they don't ask how you're doing. They tell you what you should have done. Your aunt who's never been on a bike, suddenly she's a trauma consultant. Your coworker with a minivan, he's got opinions about lane positioning. And your friend who used to ride back in college, oh, he's got stories and lessons you never asked for. Even other bikers will chime in. Some will genuinely try to help, but others will judge you without saying it outright. Oh, you went down? What were you doing? Pushing too hard? Like crashing makes you a reckless idiot instead of a rider who just had a bad day. And let's not forget the classic, "That's why I don't ride motorcycles." Great. Thanks, Karen. Super helpful. This avalanche of unsolicited advice adds insult to literal injury. You're trying to process what just happened, physically, emotionally, financially, and now you've got a jury of peanut gallery experts weighing in. It makes you question yourself even more, especially if you're already shaken up. So here's the deal. Tune out the noise. The only people worth listening to are those who ride, who've crashed, who've learned from it. Everyone else, let them ride their office chairs into traffic. Number 4. Your gear will be the first thing you inspect. Before the adrenaline even wears off, your brain does a full scan, but not of your body, of your gear. You'll pick up your helmet and check for scratches like it's a newborn baby. You'll patch your jacket, flex your gloves, and wonder if your pants took the hit. If you were wearing good stuff, you'll feel like it just paid for itself 10 times over. If you weren't, get ready for some hard-earned guilt. It's wild how quickly your priorities shift. You might have bruised a rib, but what really stings is realizing your jeans shredded like paper. Or that cheap helmet that now has a crack that wasn't part of the design. And if you are wearing no gear at all, that shame cuts deeper than the road rash. Riders love to say gear up like it's a fashion statement, but after your first crash, the message hits home. Literally. You don't need to hit 80 miles an hour to ruin your skin. Even a low-speed slide can turn your favorite hoodie into Swiss cheese and your skin into hamburger. After this, most riders either become ATGAT disciples or repeat offenders with scars to prove it. Number 5. Pain doesn't always show up right away. Right after the crash, you might feel okay. Shaken, sure. Heart racing, definitely. But injured, not really. You stand up, brush yourself off, and think, hey, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, because adrenaline is lying to you. It's nature's painkiller, and it does a great job. Too good, actually. Because a few hours later, or the next day, you'll discover you've got a shoulder that doesn't move, a back that feels like concrete, or a bruise the size of a dinner plate that came out of nowhere. You'll laugh, cough, or try to sleep, and suddenly you realize, oh yeah, I crashed. The worst part, you might not even notice something serious right away. Internal injuries, whiplash, even mild concussions can be sneaky. That's why smart riders always get checked out after a crash, even if they're walking and talking fine. Because sometimes that stiffness isn't just a bruise, it's a cracked rib, or worse. So don't play tough guy. If your bike hit the ground, your body took the hit too, even if it was through gloves, leather, and foam padding. You're not weak for hurting, you're just human. And your healing starts when you admit that. Number 6. Insurance will suddenly feel like a scam. You paid your premiums, you picked a good company, you even read the damn fine print. So when you crash, you expect a simple process. Call them up, file the claim, get your payout, fix your bike, right? Yeah, good luck with that. The reality is, insurance after a motorcycle crash feels more like a hostile negotiation than support. Adjusters suddenly treat you like a scammer. They want photos, police reports, witness statements, proof that your muffler wasn't already scratched in 2018. It's like they're trying to find a reason not to help. And if the crash wasn't your fault, even worse. Now you're dealing with another insurance company that owes you nothing. Good luck getting a rental bike, or full value for your gear, or a timeline that doesn't stretch into infinity. In countries like the US and UK, insurance companies still treat motorcyclists like reckless teenagers, even if you're 45 and riding a bone stock CB500. They'll nickel and dime you for depreciation, modifications, or mileage. And if you didn't have full coverage, you're eating the bill, no matter who caused the crash. The hard truth, insurance is protection on paper, but pain in practice. Don't expect sympathy, expect paperwork, delays, and a deep desire to scream. Number 7. You'll replay it 100 times. You'll be brushing your teeth, and it'll flash in your mind. You'll be lying in bed and boom, there it is. That curve, that car, that 1 second when it all went sideways. You can't stop it. It loops over and over like a bad rerun you didn't ask to watch. And it's not just the moment of impact, it's everything around it. Did I brake too late? Was I looking far enough ahead? Did I miss that signal? You become your own investigator, jury, and executioner. You second-guess every twitch of your wrist and every inch of your line. This isn't weakness, it's human. It's your brain trying to make sense of something traumatic. The goal isn't to forget it, it's to understand it. And if you're smart, it becomes a turning point. You start practicing emergency stops. You finally figure out body position. You ride more aware, not more afraid. But man, it's exhausting. The crash replays while you're at work, when you're eating, even when you're laughing with friends. Fades eventually, but it doesn't vanish. The lesson stays etched into your brain, and that's not always a bad thing. Just don't let it play forever without pressing pause and moving on. Number 8, your bike will never look the same again. You can replace the parts, you can buff out the scratches, you can even repaint the whole damn thing. Truth is, once you've crashed a bike, it's never quite the same. Not to you, anyway. Every nick on the tank reminds you of the fall. That mirror, it used to match. That slight vibration in the bars, maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's the ghost of that impact. Even if the shop says it's fixed, you know where the frame kissed the asphalt. It becomes a machine haunted by memory. And here's the kicker. Sometimes the bike is technically fine, structurally sound, mechanically perfect, but something in you resists trusting it again. You hesitate in corners, you second guess at speed. You feel the crash every time you swing a leg over. That emotional connection, it's cracked, just like the plastics were. That's why some riders sell the bike after a crash, even if it still rides great. They need a fresh start, clean slate, because for a lot of us, the bike isn't just a tool, it's part of our identity. And riding a bike that reminds you of pain, well, it just doesn't feel like your bike anymore. Number 9. The bill always hurts more than the crash. The pavement slaps you once. The repair bill slaps you for weeks. Even a low-speed drop can cost more than your monthly rent. Levers, mirrors, fairings, turn signals. Nothing breaks cheap. And if your insurance deductible's high, you're paying out of pocket for the privilege of screwing up. A plastic fairing that costs $20 to make somehow ends up at $600 retail. Then handlebars, that's another $150. Scratched exhaust, hope you didn't get an aftermarket one because now you're replacing style, not just function. And don't even get me started on wheels or forks. If the frame's tweaked, you're not fixing it. You're either parting out the bike or writing a eulogy. Then there's the hidden costs. Time off work, rental car, tow truck, maybe a medical bill or two. Suddenly, that minor crash becomes a 5-figure life detour. And the worst part, you still want to ride. You're already Googling new gear while icing your shoulder. The truth is, riding isn't cheap, and crashing is the most expensive part of all. That doesn't mean it's not worth it, but if you're not financially or mentally prepared for that invoice, it can shake your love for riding more than that impact ever did. Number 10. People will treat you differently, even other riders. Before the crash, you were just that guy who rides. After it, you're the one who went down. And like it or not, that label sticks. Your non-riding friends suddenly feel justified. I knew bikes were dangerous. I don't know how you can still do that after a crash. Everyone becomes a nervous aunt or a smug know-it-all. Even your mom's voice gets shakier when she hears the engine start again. But here's the twist. Even fellow riders change around you. Some respect you more, like you joined some unspoken club. Others treat you like you got a target on your back. The judgment varies. Were you riding too fast? Did you mess up the corner? You were wearing your gear. It's like they're trying to reassure themselves it won't happen to them. You start to feel like you're under a microscope. People mean well, usually, but they forget what you really need. Not analysis, not judgment, not pity. Just a little empathy. Maybe someone to help you straighten your bars. So yeah, crashing changes how people see you. But more importantly, it changes how you see yourself. And how you respond, that's what sets you apart. Number 11. You'll consider quitting, even if you don't say it. Every rider who's gone down has had that thought. Sometimes it's fleeting, just a whisper in the helmet as you dust off your gloves. Other times, it lingers. You sit in the garage, staring at the busted mirror, the scraped-up fairing, wondering, is it really worth it? And the thing is, question's legit. Riding isn't a casual hobby. It's a full-contact relationship with risk. A crash throws that reality in your face, hard. Suddenly, the things you used to brush off, car blind spots, wet leaves, your own throttle hand, start to feel like loaded guns pointed at your ribs. Some riders actually list the bike. Some take a short break that turns into years. Some switch to something safer like golf. And that's okay. No shame in hanging it up if your heart's not in it. But here's what separates the lifers from the leavers. The ones who come back don't ignore the fear. They ride through it. They rebuild confidence mile by mile. They remember why they started. And eventually, they stop thinking about the crash and start thinking about the next ride. Number 12. Getting back on feels like a gamble. That first ride after a crash, it's not like hopping on a bicycle. It's like stepping into the ring with the same opponent who just knocked you out. Your heart's thumping before you even turn the key. Your brain is playing defense, scanning every mirror, every shadow, every twitch in the bars. You second-guess stuff you used to do without thinking. That lane change you would have made yesterday, now you're hesitating. The roundabout, suddenly a minefield. Even starting the bike in the driveway feels like preparing for battle. But here's what matters. You do get back on. That ride, awkward, jittery, overcautious, isn't about distance or speed. It's about reclaiming something. The first 5 miles might suck. The next 10 feel weird. But somewhere along the way, the engine starts to sound normal again. The wind feels good, and you realize the love never left. It just got scared. You don't have to be fearless to ride again. You just have to go anyway. Because every mile after a crash counts double. Not for distance, but for grit. Number 13. It can be the best lesson you'll ever learn. Nobody wants to crash. But ask any veteran rider and they'll tell you. The moment they hit the ground was the moment everything finally clicked. It's a brutal, expensive, and painful lesson, but sometimes it's the only one that sticks. After a crash, suddenly you're obsessed with the stuff you used to ignore. You finally understand why tire pressure matters, why you should practice braking, why you should scan ahead and ride your own ride. Things you once brushed off as nice to know become gospel. You stop trying to look cool and start trying to stay alive. You ride smarter, smoother, calmer. The ego takes a back seat. You don't chase speed, you chase mastery. Some riders only get serious after they've been humbled. And while that's not the ideal way to learn, it's a damn effective one. The road teaches harshly, but it teaches well. So if you've been down and got back up, you're not just a rider, you're a survivor. And if you haven't crashed yet, take this as a gift. Learn the lessons before the pavement teaches them the hard way. Crashing a motorcycle isn't just a physical event. It's emotional, financial, psychological, and sometimes existential. But it doesn't have to be the end of your story. In fact, for a lot of riders, it's the moment their real riding journey begins. So if you've already gone down, take the lesson, not the shame. And if you haven't, burn this video into your brain so you don't have to learn it the hard way. Stay smart, stay geared up, and most importantly, don't let one bad moment define your ride. If you've ever crashed and came back stronger, drop your story below. You never know who it might help.